Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA. I'm going to be walking you guys through a little bit of the history of the channel covering ADA, and just to give you an idea of where my mind was back then on it, and then where it is today. Okay, it's a very pragmatic view. I hope you guys enjoy the content. If you do enjoy it, definitely subscribe to the channel. Let's go for 250,000 subscribers. I know you guys like the ADA content. I'm trying to push it out as quickly as I can. Definitely subscribe if you want to see more of it and turn on your alerts. Also, check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. So we've been talking about ADA on the channel for a while, okay? And to give you an idea, you know, we really first started talking about it back in 2019. I was following ADA well before that. I was following it fairly closely, even last market cycle, but I didn't start this channel until 2019. And so I fairly quickly started talking about Cardano, and we sort of watched it go through this phase, and we were more or less in what I considered over here to be an accumulation phase. We then had a major move up to about 7 cents or so. 7 cents, 8 cents. And for me at the time, it was still accumulation territory. We have several videos on the channel verifying this, by the way. You can go back a year ago and you can find all this stuff. But it was still accumulation territory, even in this region. And back then, what I said was that ADA is in accumulation territory below 10 cents for me, based on my own risk tolerance, okay? And I understand that everyone has their own risk tolerance. Some people like to buy, every coin known to man, even when they're up 1000x. I'm not like that. I like to be fairly risk averse. Buy when the risk is low, and either don't buy when the risk goes up, maybe take profits if the risk gets really high. So it went up. Did I take profits here? No, I actually did not, because again, at the time, the 0.4, these numbers have changed a lot today, so these numbers are no longer relevant, but at the time, the 0.4 ADA USD risk level, which is something for the premium list stuff, you can find a link to that in the description below. Back then, the 0.4 risk level for ADA USD was about 10 cents. Okay, so it was basically at this level over here. And this is why I kept saying, I think anything below a 10 cent ADA is a really good opportunity for this market cycle. And then what I did was when we got above this level, basically somewhere in here, I don't even remember exactly where it was, I took a small amount of ADA off the table. I sold a whopping 1/15 of my ADA position, and I sold it to Ethereum, which, by the way, it did actually work out relatively well, because then Ethereum went on a nice rally. So that actually did work out well. But again, it was only 1/15 of my ADA position, so it wasn't like a huge position to be, that I was floating around. So I was not accumulating it, right? So I was not accumulating it here anymore, because it had gone above the 0.4 risk level, and in fact, it went into the territory where I said, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen from here. I don't know if we're going to go up or if we're just going to come back down and consolidate for another half year. Okay, so I didn't buy here. And then what ended up happening was we did come down. And we came back down to that 10 cent level. And as I said before, anything below 10 cent was fair game. And so you could get ADA for as cheap as 10 cent. And this is going to hurt some of you to know this, but I mean, viewer discretion is advised. You could buy ADA for 10 cents in mid-November. In mid-November, you could have bought ADA for 10 cents. And now it's trading for almost $1.30. We even just hit $1. We basically just went up to $1.50 or so a few hours ago. So you see how quickly the times can change, okay? So from here, what happened? It went up and then consolidated for several weeks in this range. But at this time, the 0.4 ADA USD risk level had actually elevated it some. So I was actually still accumulating ADA in this area, because the 0.4 risk level had adjusted to allow me to continue to buy. Since that point, I just want to make this crystal clear for everyone watching this channel. Since that point, I've not bought ADA. I think I picked up, the last time I picked it up, I think actually was maybe right here. So maybe that's not entirely true. I picked them up the very beginning of January. Things were picking up relatively quickly, and I sort of bought my last stack of it in this region, maybe around the 30 cent mark or so. I have not bought it since then, and I don't want to give people the impression that I bought it since then. Again, this is not financial advice, and I would recommend, applying whatever risk tolerance you want, because I can't tell you what the appropriate risk tolerance is. I would say just apply whatever one you want to figure out what makes sense for you. Okay, so now, since this point, ADA has gone up relatively quickly, and believe me, I'm enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying the ride because, you know, this was the accumulation level. Here was an accumulation. Of course, when we capitulated, it was also accumulation as well. And then we briefly left accumulation here. We re-entered it here, and then I was actually still continuing to accumulate once it became more apparent that the market was trending up and that Bitcoin was breaking its prior all-time high and things were relatively bullish. Okay, and then you can see we've continued higher. The main concern I have today is that a lot of people are sort of coming in to the market, right? And, you know, we're talking about a $2 ADA. We talked about a $2 ADA on this channel. We're speculating on where it may go over the next few months, and I agree. I mean, ADA could go to $2, it could go to $3 the next few months, and I would not be surprised at all. The problem is that there's a lot of people coming in at these levels, and I think they're somewhat delusional, okay, to be completely honest. You know, and I think this delusion is not going to serve them well. And it might work out well in the short term because the market so far has remained bullish. No one's going to be surprised if ADA breaks $1.50. I wouldn't be surprised if it did that. However, I'm not buying it right now. Like, if it goes above $1.50, it's not because I'm buying it. It's because someone else is buying it, and I would rather them buy it than me buy it, because the risk levels have gone up a lot for ADA. Okay, they've gone up a lot over the last few months. I mean, if you think about it, as I said, in mid-November, you could have bought it for 10 cents. So let's stay level-headed. I'm a huge ADA bull. Again, if you don't believe me, go back on the channel. I mean, there's a lot of channels that talk about ADA today. Where were they when it was 2 cents? Because there's a lot of channels that were not talking about it when it was at 2 cents. This channel was. We have lots of videos where we were discussing it at 2 cents, at 3 cents, at 4 cents. And so back then, I thought it was a great buy. Today, I personally don't think it's like a great buy. I mean, I think that it could go up, right? I think it could go to $2. I sort of envision it going up to, you know, at least $5 at some point this market cycle. Like, I could see it making it to the $5 mark. But what scares me is that a lot of people think it's going to go straight there, and they're not prepared for major corrections. Okay, so, you know, whether we drop down from here or we go up, maybe we make it to 250 or something and then drop down, no matter where we go, right, there's always going to be new money pouring in. And this new money, they're not going to be ready for the potential downside risk whenever a lot of the people that were buying over here really start to want to take profits. Because I can tell you from my own personal experience, as someone who is buying ADA fairly aggressively in this area and published it on YouTube, it's going to be really hard if we're sitting at a 100x ROI. I mean, think about it. If you bought ADA at $1 and it went to $100, would it be hard for you not to sell? I don't think ADA has a snowball's chance in hell of going to $100, probably ever, to be completely honest. But regardless, if it did go up 100x from wherever you bought, you would probably find it very hard to sell. So then think about the people that were buying it at 3 cents and 4 cents and 5 cents. When ADA, if it makes it to say $2 and $3 and $4 and $5, these people could be up 100x or more. They could be up like 200x, 250x. Okay, think about the selling pressure that's going to put on the market when that happens. When people are literally up 250x from the bottom, meaning for every dollar they put in, it's now worth $250. Okay, so I mean, if you just put in $10, you would be looking at $2,500. If you put in $100, you'd be looking at $25,000. $1,000 investment when it's up that much, 250x, would be $250,000. Okay, don't even get me started on 10,000 investments, 100,000. I mean, so you get an idea of how high the selling pressure will be when we get to, say, $2 and $3 and $4 and $5. So I'm not saying the market can't bear it. I mean, I think that ADA has a really great shot of trending to several dollars this market cycle. Like, I really do think it does. But we always have to consider, what can the market realistically bear? And can the market realistically bear a sustained valuation of ADA over $5 when there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be up 200x or more? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long that could be sustained. I mean, if we make it there, if we go above $5 and we ultimately trend to say $7 or $8 before having a major capitulation, think about the selling pressure, because then if you go to $8, then even the people that were buying at $1 are still going to be up 8x. So the selling pressure is only going to increase and continue to increase, and then at some point it's going to be more than the market can bear, and then you're going to see a major correction. Okay, so I don't know whether, in the short term, in terms of where ADA is right now, I mean, it's trading at just shy of $1.30. If you're buying it right now in the short term, again, it's more or less a random walk. I think that, I mean, yeah, it could go to $1.50. It could go back to $1. I don't really know. I'm not buying it right now. I have my ADA position, and I'm waiting to see where it goes. But the levels right now are relatively risky, and I just showed you that in mid-November the prices were 10 cents. So I find myself in sort of like a precarious position, right? Because like I'm a huge ADA bull, and I was talking about it on the channel when it was trading for just a few cents. And then when I see people that were following me back then, like, we're all really happy because we're looking at an ROI of like 50x or more. And then you have all these new people throwing money into it at $1 and also wanting to see a $50 ADA, like another 50x. Well, 50 times 50, my friends, is 2500x. So the idea that ADA could go up 2500x when it was starting at a market capitalization of where it was, I don't remember exactly what it was at the bottom. I mean, it was certainly a lot less than it is today, but it was less than $1 billion, maybe around like a few hundred million, maybe it's like 600 or 700 million or something like that. The idea that it could start from just shy of $1 billion and go up 200, like say 2500x to go to say a $2 trillion market capitalization. Again, it's not very likely. Okay, it's not very likely because you're basically fighting all the people that got in early, and they're going to have huge stacks of it because for $1 they could have maybe picked up anywhere between 25 to 50 ADA. Now $1 doesn't even get you one ADA. So imagine the stacks of some of the earlier people and the selling pressure they're going to provide as ADA continues up. Okay, if we hit $2 and then $3 and then $4. It's going to be harder and harder for these people not to want to take profits because a lot of them are going to be looking at seriously life-changing money. Okay, so again, I find myself in an interesting position because, I've always been bullish on ADA and talking about it from a few pennies, and then you get to some point where you're like, well, I mean, I can't in good faith say, okay, well, $1.30 ADA is a steal. Because then what does that mean about my prior words when I said it was a steal at 2 cents and 3 cents and 4 cents? So the risk levels are elevated now. I have skimmed some profits off the top. I'm not going to lie. I have, but I have a majority of my position still. I'll see where it takes me. If it dumps back down to 60 cents or something, and the only reason I say that is because that's more or less where our bull market support band is, around 60 cents. If it dumps back there, I might even load back up. To be honest, if it dumps back there, I might even load back up. But if it doesn't and it goes to $2 and $3, the FOMO is going to get a lot more people. These people are going to be coming in. They're going to be buying it at $2 and $3. They're also going to expect it to go up 10x. At some point, there's only so many 10x's one coin can do in a market cycle. So, I mean, maybe ADA has another 10x left in it, but this would be the riskiest 10x, right? The lowest risk 10x was from 2 cents to 20 cents. Another, a more risky 10x was from 20 cents to $2. Or, to say go from like $1 to $10, that would be the riskiest 10x, I think, because you're really playing with something where people are up so much. So what I would say is I'm still long-term bullish on ADA. I recognize that in the short term, there's a high probability that the price of ADA could continue higher to maybe $2, maybe even higher. But if it does, the selling pressure will likely be extremely large. I don't really necessarily see it getting to $5 anytime soon. Okay, I think we need a long consolidation period, to be completely honest, where we're sort of back in accumulation mode, probably a nice correction before that, consolidation mode for a long time, and then we can trend up higher. But I don't think we're going to go straight to the $5 to $10 range from here. Would love to be proven wrong because I stand to gain a lot if that happens. But at the same time, let's be honest and let's say, okay, let's take a more pragmatic view of the market and recognize that it is up. It is up 60, 70x from the bottom. And the selling pressure, if we were to go to $2 or $3, would be incredibly large. And by the way, I'll be contributing to that selling pressure too. So just something to keep in mind. Let's not get taken away with the ridiculous price predictions of say $50 ADA or something ridiculous like that. It's just not happening this cycle. I'm sorry to say that, right? I mean, if you have a problem with it, build a bridge and get over it. It's just probably not going to happen. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember, we have the altcoin season sale. Check it out. You get access to the weekly reports and videos, the risk levels we discussed here, the Into the Cryptoverse app, the weekly reports and videos, and more. Make sure you guys check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. I will see you next time. Bye.